You know that feeling, maybe it's been a tough day, stress is creeping in, or you're just bored.
Right.
And then boom, an online ad pops up.
Yeah.
Perfect timing, tempting discount.
Happens all the time.
And before you even really think about it, you've clicked buy now.
That instant click.
Maybe it was just, say, $12,299. Seems small, right?
In the moment, yes.
But imagine doing that just once a week. Over a year, well, that's over 67,000 thou. And in 5 years, you could have easily burned through Lakhs.
It adds up incredibly fast.
We're talking about something way more common than you might think. It just invisibly drains your finances.
Like it really does.
So today, we're taking a deep dive into this thing called emotional spending.
Yeah, it's a fascinating and pretty impactful topic.
It's not just about what you buy, is it? It's really about the why.
Exactly. The why is key, and the cost it carries, which is surprisingly high.
So we'll unpack what it truly is, why it's, well, frankly, dangerous for your finances,
We'll look at the science behind those urges, too.
and how to spot it in your own habits, which I think is crucial.
Absolutely. Self-awareness first.
And most importantly, we'll get into practical, actionable strategies to break free.
And maybe redirect that money towards, a much more fulfilling future.
For this deep dive, our source material includes some really fascinating insights and some hard numbers from the emotional wallet drain, healing your spending habits.
It's a really insightful source. It lays it out quite clearly.
So let's start with the basics. What exactly is emotional spending?
Well, it's a common trap, like you said, because it feels so minor in the moment.
Right.
At its core, emotional spending is when you shop, but not because you actually need something.
Okay.
It's driven purely by how you're feeling, whether that's sadness, stress, maybe loneliness, boredom, even excitement or joy sometimes.
Interesting. So good feelings too.
Yes, sometimes your brain is basically just seeking a quick retail high. It's looking for that dopamine release.
The dopamine hit.
Exactly. You don't need that, say, 1800 perfume. You just want to feel better or maybe prolong a good feeling.
I think many of us can relate to that.
Oh, for sure.
Maybe ordering Zomato because you're just too tired or upset to cook.
Classic example.
Or impulse shopping on Mentra or Amazon after, I don't know, a fight.
Yep, seen that happen.
Or even booking a last-minute staycation just to escape a bad week.
That escape spending, it feels like a solution.
And if you think, oh, that's just me, well, think again. The source material actually says 78% of Indians have confessed to impulse buys driven by these emotional triggers.
78%, that's huge.
Especially during those big online sales events.
Yeah, the sales definitely amplify it. It's widespread, much more common than people probably realize.
What's really striking here is how quickly these little splurges add up.
That's the dangerous part. At first, it feels harmless. Oh, it's just one splurge.
I deserve it.
Exactly. But it quickly compounds into a pattern. And these aren't just abstract numbers. They become, real financial drains.
Can you maybe walk us through some examples? Show us how staggering the real cost can become over time.
Absolutely. Let's break down the cost, say, over 5 years. And this is without any investment growth, just the money spent and gone.
Okay.
Imagine 2 impulse purchases a week. Let's average it at maybe 1,000 total for the week.
Right. 2 small things.
Seems manageable weekly, but that's roughly 4,000 a month
Okay.
over 5 years. That alone becomes 2.4 lakhs.
Wow. Just like that.
And what about, say, ordering Zomato or Swiggy twice a week? Maybe 500 Nurs an order.
Pretty standard for many people.
That's another 4,000 a month, give or take. So another euro 2.4 lakhs gone in 5 years.
Okay, so that's almost 5 lakhs already between those two.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then add those emotional getaways, a couple of staycations or short trips a year, maybe 10,000 each.
Just to get away from it all.
That's 20,000 a year. Over 5 years, that adds up to 1 lakh.
So if you combine these, which are honestly pretty common habits for a lot of folks,
You're easily looking at over 5.8 lakhs just gone, vanished in only 5 years.
that's a staggering amount. And that doesn't even count the opportunity cost, does it?
Not at all. That's the kicker.
If that same money, even just the monthly amounts, was put into something like a systematic investment plan, an SIP.
Where you invest regularly.
Yeah. With compounding returns, that 5.8 lakhs could easily have grown to over 8 lakhs, maybe even euro lakhs or more, depending on the investment.
That's a huge difference. That's money that could be working for you, not just disappearing.
It really makes you think. Which brings us to the why. Why do we do this? Why spend more when we're feeling down or stressed or even bored?
It's fascinating. And it's not just about weak willpower. It's rooted in brain chemistry.
Okay.
During stress or other strong emotions, your brain basically craves relief. And spending money, the act of buying, offers a temporary dopamine hit.
That feel-good chemical again.
Right. It provides a short burst of pleasure or satisfaction. But, and this is the crucial part, the high is incredibly short-lived.
Right. It doesn't last.
No. And very often, it's followed by feelings of guilt or regret, what we call buyer's remorse.
So that fleeting satisfaction quickly replaced by guilt.
Mm-hmm.
That seems common.
It's the typical cycle.
Are there specific psychological triggers beyond just dopamine?
Yes, definitely. Beyond the general dopamine rush, specific emotions trigger specific spending responses, almost.
Like what?
Well, stress, for example. Shopping can provide a false sense of control when everything else feels chaotic. You choose, you buy, you control that little interaction.
Ah, okay. A little island of control.
Exactly. Loneliness. Buying things can sometimes feel like self-care, like you're comforting yourself or treating yourself when no one else is around.
Like buying yourself a gift.
Sort of. And boredom is a big one. It just adds a bit of excitement or novelty to an otherwise dull day.
Yeah, something to do.
And then there's comparison. Social pressure. Seeing friends, or especially influencers online, showing off their purchases.
Oh, the haul videos.
Exactly. That can create immense pressure to keep up, to buy things to feel like you belong or measure up.
And the source material really points a finger at social media here, doesn't it?
It does, because it's not just seeing what others have, it's the constant, bombardment.
Right, it's everywhere.
Instagram reels, influencer hauls, those super aesthetic unboxing videos, they all subconsciously push us towards spending.
To achieve that perceived lifestyle.
Yeah, to feel like you're part of that aspirational world they're showing, it creates this really powerful feedback loop. Spend to feel good, see others spending, want to spend more.
It's quite insidious when you think about it that way.
It absolutely is. The curated perfection we see online really messes with our spending habits, often without us even noticing.
So the big question then is, how do you, the listener, know if you're an emotional spender?
Right. Our source gives a quick self-check it's worth thinking about, honestly.
Okay, grab a mental pen and paper, everyone. Ask yourself these questions. First, do you often shop when you're stressed, sad, or bored?
Question 2. Do you sometimes regret purchases a few days after you've made them?
Third, do online sales or discounts excite you more than buying something you actually planned for?
That's a good one. Fourth, do you ever hide your purchases from your family or your partner?
Ooh, the hidden shopping bags.
Yeah. And finally, do you often justify impulse spending as self-love or retail therapy?
That's an interesting one. We hear self-love used a lot. How do we tell the difference between, genuine self-care that might involve spending and this kind of emotional spending?
That's a really crucial distinction. Genuine self-care is usually intentional. It aligns with your long-term well-being, your values, and it often leads to lasting positive feelings.
Okay.
Emotional spending, on the other hand, is typically reactive. It's an impulse to soothe a feeling right now. It gives only that fleeting high, and it's usually followed by negative emotions, guilt, anxiety, stress about the money.
So intention and after feeling are key.
Very much so. Now, if you found yourself answering yes to, say, 3 or more of those self-check questions, then it's very likely you've developed an emotional spending habit. It's a strong indicator that your emotions, not your needs or goals, are often driving your spending decisions.
And these aren't just abstract concepts. The source shares some really relatable stories.
Yeah, real people, real situations.
Like Ardargi, 28, from Bangalore. After a breakup, feeling awful, she went online and ordered skincare. Lots of it. Worth $15,000.
Wow, $15,000.
And the kicker. Months later, she admitted she hadn't even opened half of it.
See, it wasn't about the skincare. It was about trying to soothe the pain immediately. That comfort-seeking urge, totally disconnected from actual need.
Exactly. Or there's Vikram, 35, from Mumbai.
Okay.
He used food delivery apps as his go-to comfort during intense work stress.
A very common coping mechanism.
He tracked it for a year. He'd spent over $85,000 on those apps alone.
$85,000. That must have been a shock.
He said it absolutely floored him when he saw the total.
And these aren't, extreme outliers. These are regular people dealing with a surprisingly common, and as we see, financially damaging habit.
So beyond the immediate hit to the wallet, this kind of spending clearly has a ripple effect. What does it mean for the bigger picture? Long-term finances.
Well, if you connect the dots, consistent emotional spending often leads to having almost zero savings left at the end of each month.
Living paycheck to paycheck, essentially.
Pretty much. It means you miss out on crucial investment opportunities like that SIP we talked about. Money isn't growing for you.
Right.
It can lead to rising credit card debt because you're spending money you don't quite have.
And then come the EMIs, the monthly loan payments.
Exactly. But beyond the numbers, which are bad enough, it creates this cloud of anxiety, guilt, and sometimes even shame around money.
Yeah, that feeling of, I shouldn't have done that.
Right. And that makes it nearly impossible to feel confident planning for important long-term goals. Things like buying a home, saving for a car, or even just building a solid emergency fund for unexpected issues.
So it really erodes your foundation.
It truly does. It doesn't just drain your wallet in the short term, it genuinely destroys your financial confidence over time.
That's a powerful point, and often overlooked, I think. The confidence part.
Absolutely.
But here's the good news, and this is really what our deep dive is about today. You can break the cycle.
Yes, definitely. It's a habit, and habits can be changed.
And our source provides 10 really practical strategies to help you, the listener, reclaim control. Let's get into them.
Okay, the first one is brilliant in its simplicity. Delay, don't deny.
Delay, don't deny. Okay.
This isn't just about willpower, it's about hacking that immediate dopamine urge we discussed.
How does it work?
You implement a simple rule. A 48-hour waiting period before buying anything non-essential over a certain amount, maybe 1,000.
48 hours.
Bay?
2 days.
Exactly. It gives your brain a crucial window. Time for the initial emotional surge to subside. Time for your rational brain to catch up.
And the source suggests most cravings just fade.
That's what the research indicates. Most impulse cravings significantly decrease or disappear within that 48-hour window.
That's a fantastic, practical first step. Okay, number 2.
Number 2 is to create an emotions-first journal.
Okay, journaling. How does that help with spending?
Before you click buy or head to the checkout, take literally 60 seconds. Ask yourself, what am I actually feeling right now? And will this purchase truly solve that emotional need or just mask it?
Just that short pause for reflection.
Yes. That simple 60 seconds of reflection can be enough to interrupt the impulse and stop an unnecessary spend in its tracks.
I like that. Okay, number 3.
This one is about finding alternatives. Make a comfort list, but one that doesn't involve shopping.
A non-shopping comfort list. Examples.
Think about things that genuinely soothe or uplift you without costing money. Maybe a short walk outside, putting on your favorite music, calling a friend just to chat, watching a funny reel or video.
Simple things.
Simple free things. The goal is to consciously train your brain. When you feel that emotional trigger, reach for something on this list instead of reaching for your wallet or a shopping app.
Retraining the brain's association with comfort.
Precisely. Okay, number 4 is about awareness again. Track your emotional spends.
How do you do that specifically?
In your monthly budget or spending tracker, create a separate category. Label it something like mood spending or impulse buys.
Oh, dedicating a line item to it.
Yes. Be honest with yourself and categorize those emotional purchases there. Seeing that number clearly at the end of the month builds powerful self-awareness.
I can imagine the mood spending category might be a bit of a wake-up call for many of us, myself included.
It often is.
Ugh.
But you can't change what you don't acknowledge, right? That awareness is the absolute first step towards making a change.
Very true. Okay. 5th strategy.
Budget for guilt-free fun. This might sound counterintuitive, but
Go on.
create a specific small fun wallet or treat yourself fun within your budget. Maybe it's $1,500 a month, maybe less, maybe slightly more depending on your situation.
And the rule is?
That money is specifically for guilt-free indulgence. A coffee, a small treat, something fun, once it's gone for the month. This acknowledges the human need for occasional treats without letting it derail your entire financial plan.
So it allows for planned enjoyment, not reactive splurging.
Exactly. It gives you permission within limits. Number 6, use technology to help you.
Apps.
Yeah, explore apps that help you track and potentially limit spending. The source mentions popular Indian financial apps like Walnut, Cube Wealth, ET Money. There are many others.
How do they help?
They can provide real-time tracking, spending alerts, budget visualizations, basically tools to give you a clearer picture and maybe set limits on certain categories like shopping or dining out.
Using tech for good. Okay, number 7.
This one's about managing your environment. Block or unfollow temptation sources.
Ah, the social media cleanse.
Exactly. That influencer whose hauls always make you want to buy, unfollow those brand emails and newsletters with constant urgent sales. Unsubscribe.
Be ruthless.
Be ruthless about protecting your peace and your wallet. Just observe how much calmer you feel, how fewer impulse urges you get when that constant visual temptation is simply removed from your feed.
To the very practical tip, I think many people underestimate the impact of that constant exposure.
It's huge. Okay, number 8 is a bit old school, but effective for online shopping. Switch to cash on delivery, COD, whenever possible.
Really? How does CAT help?
It adds friction. Instead of the seamless instant click and pay, you have to physically have the cash ready when the item arrives.
That moment of handing over actual cash.
Yes, that physical act of payment plus the slight delay gives you another chance to think, do I really need this? It breaks the spell of instant digital gratification.
Makes sense. Less mindless clicking. Number 9.
Visualize your long-term goals. Make them tangible. Put a picture of your dream. Maybe it's a house, a travel destination, maybe just a graphic representing debt-free. Put it on your phone's lock screen.
So you see it every time you pick up your phone?
Every single time, especially right before you might open a shopping app. Use it as a powerful visual reminder of what you're really working towards. It helps create a mental counterbalance to that fleeting desire to spend.
Connecting daily actions to the bigger picture. I like it. And the final one, number 10.
Finally, number 10 is about seeking deeper support if needed. Don't be afraid to seek therapy or coaching.
When would that be necessary?
If your emotional spending feels deeply entangled with underlying issues like past trauma, chronic stress, anxiety, or depression, just trying to manage the spending itself might not be enough.
Addressing the root cause.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Consider financial coaching, which focuses on money habits, or even therapy to work on the underlying emotional drivers. Sometimes you need professional support to truly rewire these deep-seated patterns. Think of it as an investment in your overall well-being.
That's a really important point. It's okay to seek help.
Absolutely essential sometimes. And what's truly transformative when you start applying these strategies is you begin to flip the script.
How so?
Instead of spending reactively to cope with emotions, you start spending, or rather allocating money intentionally to invest in yourself and your actual future.
Yes. Redirecting that money. Instead of the fleeting comfort of a purchase.
You put it towards investments that genuinely benefit your future self.
Like starting that mutual fund SIP, even if it's just €1,000 a month to begin with.
Or investing in online courses to upskill for your career.
Building that emergency fund, finally giving yourself that cushion and peace of mind.
Getting proper health insurance to protect yourself and your family against unexpected medical bills, which can be financially devastating.
Every single one of those actions feels more substantial.
It is. Every investment you make, every rupee you allocate towards a goal is like a vote for your future self. You're actively building something amazing and sustainable, moving closer to what you really want.
So let's recap. Bad days, feeling lonely, stressed, frustrated. These are just inevitable parts of being human, right?
Completely normal. Nobody escapes them.
But allowing your wallet to become the default way you carry that emotional burden, that's a habit. And it's a habit that costs you.
It costs you not just money, but also your financial stability, your peace of mind, and ultimately your ability to reach your dreams.
But the good news is you've now got the insights from this deep dive, and you've got the tools, those 10 strategies. You can start making different choices.
Right now, today. It starts with the next urge. Before your next impulsive checkout, just pause and ask yourself that question.
What's the question?
Am I buying this with my emotions right now, or am I buying this in line with my goals?
Emotions or goals. That's a powerful filter.
It really is.
Because think about it. Spending, say, $5,000 on one bad day might give you that fleeting moment of comfort.
A very temporary fix.
But imagine the truly amazing feeling down the line of watching that same $5,000 grow to maybe your $50,000 in your investment portfolio.
Because you chose a different path that day. That's lasting satisfaction. That's building wealth.
So this deep dive, drawing from the emotional wallet drain, has hopefully armed you with some incredible insights. Now it's really time to put them into action.
Absolutely. So we want to leave you with a challenge, a practical step.
Okay, what's the challenge?
We challenge you to try a 30-day emotional spend detox.
30 days. Okay.
For the next 30 days, make a conscious commitment. No buying anything non-essential unless it was already planned before the 30 days started.
Planned purchases only. No impulse buys triggered by mood.
Exactly. And every time you successfully avoid an emotional spend you were tempted to make, note down the amount you saved. Keep a running tally.
Okay, track the savings.
And then, at the end of the 30 days, take that total amount you saved by not spending emotionally.
Yeah.
And invest it. put it into that SIP or towards your emergency fund or whatever your key financial goal is. Make that money work for your future.
That's a fantastic challenge, turning avoidance into positive action.
You've got the knowledge now. You've got the strategies. You can definitely do this. You've got this.